Good morning, colleagues. It's Dr. Nastal. I wanted to draw your attention to just a couple of ideas as we continue to work on the Queen City Writers analysis. So what I've pulled up here is the overall feedback I've left for everybody. And it's long, so I just wanted to talk through it very briefly. Overall, I think you're doing great work. I know this is a tough assignment. You're being asked to talk about a really big issue in society in a very brief way and refer to all the different sources that you're using. So I'm asking for a lot in this one paragraph, but you're off to a really good start. And I know that once you revise with this information, the rest of the essay will be, or the rest of the analysis will be much stronger. So just a reminder that as you are working on your theme analysis, or pardon me, your theme overview in the Queen City Writers analysis, you do need to mention the sources you're using. And that makes it clear that your ideas are influenced by the text. If you don't, then it just seems like you kind of letting me know what you think about a big issue in society, but there's no indication of the purpose for doing that. Similarly, as you're discussing that theme, please make sure that you underscore its significance. Again, that lets readers know that you're writing with a purpose, not just because you want to. Remember that this paragraph functions as preparation for readers to understand what's about to come. So just like a general introduction gives you some general information about the rest of the essay, this theme overview is like an introduction to the analysis that you're going to do. So you have some general information here to help readers understand your specific details and development of ideas in the next paragraph, and then your analysis of that in the following. Please remember to review MLA formatting. There's a couple of resources, and I have an example just below. And then I also have a resource in our week 2 content for how to focus on ideas rather than sources. And you'll be able to see that here. So here's an example from someone in our class where they began by offering an overview of their theme about stereotypes. They emphasize why it's so significant. But they haven't identified any of the sources, and they haven't let us know why this is important to talk about in a Queen City Writers analysis. So my suggested revision doesn't really add anything. I omitted some of the kind of process information or the personal reflection, that the process or the method is going to come in the paragraph before this, and your analysis is going to come after. So this paragraph really needs to focus very, very specifically just on the theme and which sources it's coming from. So this writer had phrases like something I analyzed, which I read, those I listed, or what I found in common, or this is my opinion. So I omitted some of that. Now, I also want to say I omitted that not because I think it's wrong to include your personal ideas or use the personal pronouns. In fact, I'm asking you to do that in every assignment. But because I believe that by including both the personal, here's what I did, or here's what I thought, in this paragraph can detract from what we're doing. So the revision is more direct. Living in this day and age, you get judged by different people every single day. Stereotypes are considered a certain idea of how one acts. It can be your skin tone, size, shape, background, origin, what you believe in, and your sex. Judging someone about how they look on the outside is an unhealthy way of living. In Queen City Writers, authors discuss how stereotypes in relationships, for the LGBTQ community, and even for women can affect the world as a whole. So for each of the different kinds of stereotyping, our class writer would include the last names of the authors that they're using. So stereotypes in relationships, they list the author's last names. Stereotypes for the LGBTQ community here. Actually, I should. So this is the way also that you emphasize the ideas rather than the sources. We all know that the main content is listed or is written within the sentences themselves, and that kind of optional or periphery information is listed in parentheses. So by putting the author's last names in parentheses, we know, okay, here's where the idea came from, and this writer's ideas, our class writer's ideas are what's important, not listing the author's name and long title of their article. So as I mentioned, there are a couple of resources for MLA formatting, but personally, those kind of stress me out when I'm reading through them. And I work really well with a model. So here is the model for your journal articles. And we'll do more with MLA as the class continues. So you need the work cited on a separate page, alphabetized by last name, and then it's last name, first name, article title, Queen City Writers, volume number, month, year, webpage. And there are two places to find that information. Here I'm looking at one of the articles, and it says up here back to 7.2. So this 7 is the volume number, 2 is the issue number. It's posted on May 29, 2019. We can just go with the month and the year. The other place to find it is in, if you go to issues, let's say, go here, and the volume and issue numbers are up here. So this one would be 6.1-2. It's like a double issue. So this is where you find that information. And please remember, as you are doing your MLA citations, to follow the exact formatting. So we have the quotation marks and the period inside of them for the article title. Follow that. The italics, the commas, every piece of punctuation needs to be adhered to, which is why it's so maddening to do formatting. Nobody likes it. So do your best, but please do follow these guidelines. The last thing I wanted to mention is just a reminder that the information on our D2L site is all designed to help you succeed. So I try to put everything that can possibly help you in our weekly content. We have the Prairie State College student resources like the Writing Center and Library over here, the specific resources for our class. We also have the discussion forum, which is an excellent place for you to post questions about anything in the class. You can do that here where you need help right away. But if you also want to brainstorm or try out an idea, or maybe post a part of your, like a sentence or a paragraph to make sure you're on the right track, post it out here. I know it can be kind of weird to share your writing with essentially strangers, but I think it can be really helpful for all of us. And also, then you don't have to wait for me, which, as you know, sometimes it takes 24 hours or a little bit more during the week. So just remember that we're here, we're in this together, and we can be resources for each other. So as always, please let me know what questions you have, and I continue to look forward to your writing. I think you're doing great work.